Starting with that breaking news in the Donovon Lynch case out of Virginia Beach, a special grand jury saying the officer who shot Lynch to death was justified. The Virginia Beach Commonwealth's attorney saying that officer will not face charges. It comes 8 months after Lynch died in a chaotic night at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. No video of the actual shooting. And for months, Lynch's family and the community have demanded answers about what happened. Today, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office laying out much of the evidence they've examined.
And that included footage from other officers' cameras, witness statements, and an interview with the officer who pulled the trigger. Investigative reporter Evan Watson was there for every moment of the news conference, and he's live in Virginia Beach.
Today's report shows Virginia Beach police officer Solomon Simmons saying, "I shot him," right after firing 3 shots, 2 of which hit and killed Donovon Lynch. A special grand jury rules that Officer Simmons acted in, quote, justifiable self-defense of himself and others. Leaders from the Virginia Beach Commonwealth's Attorney's Office shared the details at a news conference. Officer Simmons did not have his body camera activated for the shooting, but investigators shared multiple body camera videos from other officers who quickly responded. Officer Simmons told investigators that Lynch was faced away from him, crouched with a gun in his hand. Simmons said he heard Lynch rack his gun, shouted something at him, and Lynch started to turn toward him when he shot and killed him. Investigators say Simmons never said that Lynch pointed a gun directly at him. Lynch was shot in his left shoulder and left leg. Videos show officers trying to save Lynch's life right after the shooting and moving him to a different area about 6 minutes later for medical attention. Commonwealth's Attorney Colin Stolle says he needed a special grand jury to investigate this case in order to compel key witnesses to provide testimony.
We needed to hear what these individuals had to say. The only way for that to have happened was through the impaneling of a special grand jury and allowing the special grand jury to issue subpoenas for them to come in and give their testimony.
Investigators say a gun legally carried by Donovon Lynch was found a few feet from his body with a bullet in the chamber. No shots were fired from Lynch's gun. Before he was shot and killed, investigators say Lynch was facing a parking lot near the oceanfront where 50 shots were fired just a few minutes earlier. The special grand jury report calls that parking lot a, quote, war zone. Lynch was the only person shot by police at the oceanfront that night. Reporting live in Virginia Beach, Evan Watson for 13 News Now.
Thank you, Evan. And the city manager just released a statement responding to the findings of that investigation. Patrick Duhenny called Lynch's death a tragedy and said that, quote, his family has endured an unfathomable loss and that the grand jury's findings don't change that. Duhenny went on to say that an administrative investigation will now look into whether the officer Simmons violated department policy. Simmons is on administrative assignment until that review is over. And once it ends, the newly authorized Citizen Review Board will look into the case.